All right, welcome to the daily market analysis for 31 with May. What we're going to do tonight is go over update to the market since last night and also identify setups happening tonight going into tomorrow. All right, so first pair we're going to cover is going to be GA. All right, on the 1 hour time frame, they have now given us a lazy M, right? First leg, second leg, they've issued us a star. Right, you can see TDI's hit that market baseline and it's on its way back down. Drop down to the 30-minute. So the EMAs have not crossed yet, right? Which I'm relieved about that because it's still early in the Asian session. And they've issued us a star. TDI is hitting that market baseline on the 30 minutes, so I'm hoping that they come back up and at least hit the high of the day, give us a retest before dropping. But if they continue down, then we're just going to let that go because, again, we don't trade Asian. I don't like trading until it hits that last quarter of the blue box. All right, so that's what I'm expecting for tonight. We'll move on to EJ. So after last night, I told you that they could potentially, after doing this retest, continue down. They did, right? They did not come back up during London. Here's the London box right here. They continued down and consolidated right along that 50 EMA, bringing us back up to the retest. And they did the same exact thing tonight that they did last night, right? Early in the Asian session, a retest did not exceed the high. This outside structure is still valid. I honestly feel confident taking this trade, right? Asian box, Asian range is 25 pips. Jump back over to the 1 hour. Only thing is TDI is at that bottom Bollinger Band now, right? And it's right here pinning that 50 EMA. That is the only reason why I did not push that signal out, because there's two indicators that it could come back up tonight. So that's what I'm anticipating and hoping for, so we can get a better entry in the timeline that we prefer, right? Let me adjust. There we go. All right, moving on to CJ. When my computer stops being slow. All right, CJ on the 1 hour. Since last night, they hit the high during Asian, came back up and gave us second leg during London, dropped to that 25 pip box. This is a prime example of that shift down. They didn't do it in the box, right? They did it right outside and came back up and consolidated right below this level here. So don't expect them to come back up tonight. TDI is right in between that mid-level line and this bottom Bollinger Band. So we'll jump up to the 4 hour time frame to see where TDI is. It's right there at that market baseline, right? You see that long wick with that star right above the 50. So that lets me know that they are working on coming back up. There's not a real shift, real trend like this here, right? It's more like consolidation. And you see TDI is essentially mimicking price action. No real trend down. It's just really sideways movement. So we'll see how they behave once they get back into this range, if that does happen. If not, we're going to let it go because we have better setups tonight or this week. All right, moving on to UJ. So last night when I covered it, right, they have given a M, first leg, second leg, early in the Asian session, right? consolidated during London and continued down. I told you it was a possibility that could happen. What we were hoping for was for them to come up during London, retest. If not, push up to this 25 pip box, that stop hunt box, right? And they didn't do that. Hasn't been a real trend. It's been very small pushes. You see all these candles, except for this one here, are very, very short, right? First leg, second leg. That's how you know that a reversal is coming, because when they shift away real quick, real aggressively, and come back up and then retest, that lets you know that a reversal is coming. And they're doing that right along that 200 DMA. TDI is at the bottom Bollinger Band, not a first hit, but a second hit as well. So looking for them to come back into this reversal range box, and then that's when we'll start looking for the setup again. We don't trade against the real trend, our bias, so we're gonna wait to see when that setup presents itself. All right, moving on to NJ. NJ on the 1 hour time frame since last night, they have come up further into that range box. When I initially, I think this is the pair that no, I didn't shift this box. So they have come back up deeper into or further up into the range box, right? They're damn near in the middle, but it's been consolidation. They are trying to gain contracts and see where their money is at, whether they continue up to retest this high, right? Or if they go ahead and shift the market down away from the trap volume. This is what they're doing here, trying to trap volume, trying to induce traders to go long, right? And they've got a W right here, so it might just be working, right? If they continue to induce long and they get the numbers that they're looking for, then they'll go ahead and shift probably before Asian session ends. If not, then it'll more than likely be during the London session. All right, but on the 30-minute time frame, it's been riding that market baseline. We don't have bias Bollingers just yet on the 1 hour, but it's been consolidating for the past day. So we'll see what happens if they give us a better pattern. All right, moving on to AN. AN has completely came back up and retested. This is one of our better setups for the night. All right, since last night, they extended the high, didn't quite push up to that stop hunt box, right? That 25 pip box. They stopped during London, came down, and now have issued us a second leg. So we got first leg, second leg. Only thing to be concerned about is this triangle right here, right? Because the bias is long. They could come back. They could stop right here, right now that they've retested. TDI is at that top Bollinger Band and come down and give us a fourth hit. 1, 2, 3, and if they come back down, will be a fourth hit. Drop back down to the 1 hour time frame. TDI is approaching that top Bollinger Band here, so we'll see how they behave tonight, whether they continue up or come back and give us another hit. All right, EA, moving on to EA. EA, since last night, this was another one I told. Actually, I didn't even, did I cover? Yeah, I did cover EA. So this was our second leg during the Asian session, right? It was too early, and I told you that they could come back and retest the high or continue pushing. They did that through London, right? Bottomed out during London in the stop hunt box and came back up during US. Once US ended, they sent a wick up to the top, giving us this triangle, right? But we don't trade during this time. And then shifted that zone real quick back down to yesterday's low. So expecting them to come back up. The Asian range right now is about 50 pips. So if they do not stop here, then we will not be trading EA, because that means that the Asian range is blown out. Becomes a gamble with your stop loss and all of that, right? So it's right at that border to where it's uncomfortable, right? If they do come back up, then that's even better. If they come here to the mid Asian, then it's really a gamble, because that means there's 25-ish pips from the high, and we always place our stop loss from the high, right? So that's a 25 pip gap. It doesn't make sense to trade it, right? So unless they come all the way back up to retest today's high, this line right here, we won't be trading it. All right, moving on to AC. Does that make sense? All right, moving on to AC. They came down during after the US session, right, giving us this triangle before taking off. Again, not the time zone that we trade. This is iffy sometimes, right? This is basically our preferred time to trade, but they gave it to us right before the day ended, right? They always do an aggressive move to end the day. There's false move week beginning, false move day beginning, false move day ending, right? This is the false move day ending. And it's an aggressive move to trap traders. So they did that aggressive move, consolidated, right, for a few hours, and then took off. They're pinning that 200 DMA now and retesting this high of yesterday's high. So expecting them to come down, hopefully back into the reversal range box at the preferred time, right, during London, and then taking off. All right, as you can see, we got strict trading criteria. We let opportunities go because they just, if it's not there, the setup isn't there, we don't trade them, right? That's how we become successful investors. We don't gamble. All right, since last night, after giving that second leg during the Asian session, they continue down. This is very rare, right, for them to do this at a peak, unless they are really trying to collect those contracts, right? For them to give a second leg during Asian and continue the trend during London. But I don't foresee that happening, especially with this pair tonight. Actually, this is Nick's pair. Why didn't you tell me that, bro? I'm going into yours.
I was gonna let you have it, man. You obviously have something to say.
I ain't gonna do that.
All right.
I got two more, and then
Okay.
I almost stole your thunder, and I'll give it to you.
I am a fan of GN. It's one of my favorites tonight.
All right, so NC, right? They gave us first leg, second leg during early in Asian again, right? Consolidated during London. London is our moneymaker, and pushed up, right? Set the high of the day during the U.S. session, and came down to end that. That's that false move day ending right here. That aggressive move, trap traders, right? Pin that 200, and then shifted up and consolidated. So waiting for them to come back down during that to that range box, right, and give us another hit, preferably to the, if they go down to the at least the 200, I'll be okay with that, right? right now they've set the high of the day. They're working the low right now. Actually, they're hitting that market baseline, so they might be setting the low, working on the high. Either way, expecting them to come back down from at least to the 200 before taking off, right, to go with the bias for the week. All right. And then last but not least, EN. EN last night, another pair. That this is really the second hit or second leg, right? This outside structure is still valid because this candle closed below this wick. It closed about right here. Second hit, consolidated right through London, US, and now through Asian. Looks like they're wanting to. They painted the high of the day, looking like they're working the low of the day now, expecting them to come back up at least to the high of the day, retest before dropping. And that is about, yep, that's it for me. Do you have any questions? All right. I'll be pushing those signals out tonight, updates, and I will be on tonight for the live trading session because I think we're going to have at least 2 trades. All right, I'll pass it off to Nick so he can cover his pairs. All right, bro, you good?
Okay. All right, I'm bringing my screen up now. Okay, good. All right, so let's recap GU. So there's some peculiar things, is the word I'm looking for, that happened last night. Actually, yesterday, really. So we've had an extension of the high on GU. Looking at the day chart, though, right? This extension of the high from yesterday still respected our previous structure, right? So just because this on the day chart, this candle is above, that doesn't mean it's where it's going to close. Okay, so we're gonna see what they decide to do. Right now, my bias for it is still short, even though I'm going to need a pretty clear setup to take this trade tonight. You know, what is happening with my computer? Okay. All right, TDI, right, is not really at the top Bollinger Band. It's not at the high level, so don't really like that. But do like the fact that we have our sun over here. That's always a nice an eye catcher, something to make us pay attention, right? If we come out again though, right, and we use our crosshair, right, and we go to the top of this bar, the close of that bar still respects the original structure as well. You see how it does not close above this candle, right? So it is still being respected. We're still okay. All right, so we're not going to move farther than the 4-hour chart because we're in this candle here, and there is the potential for it to violate this previous structure out here. We're just going to leave it at that because there is a very good potential that it violates. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that throughout the night. All right, moving on to GJ. Got here. All right, GJ is now coming back onto my radar. We have a structure finally being painted. Nice little, looks like a nice little M is starting to form there for us. So it's back on my radar. Some time has passed, and the market makers have started to give us a clearer picture of what we're doing, what their intentions are, coming off this aggressive move that happened out of nowhere, really. So our short bias is on GJ. Obviously, will be confirmed as they complete this retest. We got star on top following a moon, which is good. TDI is kind of just riding this market baseline. Popped up just a little bit, but it's just kind of riding it. I'd like to see it come up and hit that top 100 band. That would be ideal. But, you know, We also have reinforcement of the short bias with these sets of candles here. These are trap through candles, trapping through this price point, grabbing up all the contracts above the double zero line. Okay, so that also confirms our short bias even more. So we're looking for shorts on GJ, and it's my number two pair. It's my number two favorite pair tonight. EG, the check down pair. All right. EG's coming back down for a retest. This will be the fifth hit to the low. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is now the fifth. Okay, so a lot of potential to get a good buy trade in EG. I know I always say that I don't like to trade EG very much, but I might make an exception, even though it's so expensive, because this formation's coming is setting up pretty well here with them riding this low like this. So I might make an exception. I might be looking to take an EG trade. So we'll see. My number one pair for the night. All right, I'm gonna save the best for last. Is GN. All right, Javon tried to steal my thunder a little bit.
Hey,
Uh,
I see a pattern, and I get googly eyed.
you know what I mean? Um, so so we got a pretty good opportunity here, right? We have our peak formation over here. We've had our first shift down, our first level completion, came back up, stopped on high, and we're looking now to take this short again. We have a nice M setting up, right? Second leg is following a trap through of this double zero line, right? I mean, it literally is immediately following for essentially because this is the higher time frame. And I'm really starting to like what I see, right? So I got moon followed by a star. Last indicator, the leg is held already. We have a nice hammer candle being painted on the 4-hour chart. Another thing I really like to see is that hammer candle moving down to the 1-hour chart, right? We have, again, one and now two hammers possibly forming with the star on top, TDI above the market baseline, still respecting this high, right? Not paying attention to this sweet spot triangle because it's not out of a level 3 condition, okay? So we disregard it, right, because it's not coming out of a level 3 condition. We're in a level 1 condition on the higher time frame, right? Level 1 condition on the higher time frame, okay? So again, looking to take this short, we're going to be looking for a clear M, right? Retest of this high, right? TDI is already poked outside the Bollinger Band here. So a nice retest would look like them coming back up and tapping that Bollinger Band real quick one more time. And that's really where I would like to see what I would like to see happen. And then we'll be looking to take that trade. So as I will also be up tonight to initiate the live trading session, and we will be looking. I'll at least have two pairs that I'm going to be really, really looking at to take short. That is GJ and GN. Javon, you got anything else you want to add?
Nope, that is it.
All right. Well, as with every other webinar, we will feel free to reach out to us in the group chat or send us a DM if you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow night, 8:30 Central Standard Time, to give you your daily market analysis. Have a
All
good
right.
night.
Yeah, good night.